For today's video, I decided to do something a little bit different. I decided to start to do a new series. Basically, I'm going to test products and see if they are suitable for fair skin. I don't exactly know what the title of this video will be called, but something along those lines. A lot of products that are really hyped up and really popular aren't always suitable for every skin tone. So I find a lot of products work for the more light to medium skin tone, and then the fair and really dark skin are kind of left wishy-washy. So it's nice to find out which products are really going to be suitable for really fair skin. So the Tarte Pro Glow palette is a palette that has a cream contour shade, a powder contour shade, and 4 highlighting shades. So when I'm spending this amount of money, because Tarte isn't cheap, I personally would like to get a lot of use out of a palette. And obviously these 2 shades, Lit and Fire, are just not going to work for me, but that's kind of a common occurrence. If you are interested in seeing my opinions on this product and seeing if it is suitable for really fair skin, then just continue on watching. So I've already applied my foundation, I just haven't set anything yet. I haven't put any bronzer on, contour, or highlight. I do really like the packaging on this. I mean, Tarte isn't a cheap brand, so I'm kind of expecting nice packaging when I'm buying from Sephora. From first impressions, from just looking at the colors in the pan, it doesn't seem like it is going to 100% work for someone as fair as me. The contour shade does look a little bit darker and a little warmer than what I would usually use. And the highlight shades, possibly Stunner might work, for sure Strobe will. Stunner, I mean, kind of has a gray taupish undertone, and it might give off a weird kind of glow. Like it might give, when something's too dark and you put it on fair skin, it gives kind of like an orange hue. So we'll see if that happens. But the actual powder contour, oddly enough, looks like it would be actually a really good color, and it's pretty universal. So I'm just going to go in with this little synthetic brush from Real Techniques. Now I'm not going to go in with a crazy amount of contour. I'm going to go in with a realistic amount because I want to see if this realistically would work for a day-to-day look for someone as fair as I am. So I just took a really small amount on the tip of the brush, not a lot, and I'm just going to do a very small line starting at the top of my ear. Not going to bring this out too far. I'm just going to stop right at the beginning corner of my eye. And I'm actually going to blend this out with a beauty blender on this side, and then I'll use another synthetic brush on this side of my face. Impressed. That blended out so easily, and from the amount that I used of the product, I think it blended out to actually a really pretty natural contour. Does not look muddy whatsoever on my skin. Now, I personally have learned just from playing around with makeup that I'm always going to go in with the smallest amount, and if I like how it looks with just a small amount, then that's good for me. But I did go in with not a tiny amount, but I didn't go in with a huge generous amount, and I am really happy with how it looks. So I think I'm just going to leave it at that. And on this side, I'm going to go in with just a little bit of a heavier hand to see how it really blends out and if I can build up with this product. Okay, so I definitely put a lot more on this side. And I'm going to blend it out. I'm going to blend it out with this bigger Real Techniques brush. This is the sculpting brush. So I think this is formulated for contouring, so we'll see how it does. And I have used this with other cream contour products, and I do like the results. So I'm going to see if it gives me that same look. Oh shit. Because this brush is kind of big, kind of just like brought product above where I usually go to contour, so it's making me nervous. Okay, so I don't like how this is blending out the brush. It's making me really nervous. So I'm just gonna go back in beauty blender. Personally, I think from just using the beauty blender and this bigger Real Technique sculpting brush that this product blends out way better with a beauty blender. Keep in mind, I do have drier skin, so possibly the moisture from the sponge is kind of helping it blend out, but I did moisturize my skin and prime my skin prior, so it shouldn't be too dry. I just think this gave a more flawless finish. So I did go in with a lot more product on the side, and it definitely gave me a bit more of an intense contour, but I still think it's actually pretty good for my skin. I'm really impressed because by looking at this, it definitely does look warm and it does look dark. Comparing to, let's say, the Anastasia contour kit that has a really cool gray undertone to it. I don't know, I wouldn't think I would like something so warm toned, but I am pretty happy with it. So I'm just gonna go in with a little bit more on this side to even it off. So I don't usually go in with a ton of product on my forehead just because I don't have the biggest forehead and I don't really want to make it look smaller. But just to even it off, I usually go in with a little bit of powder contour. So I'm just going to take the smallest amount of the cream contour that I do have just to see how it works. And I'm going to just put it very lightly on the perimeters near my temples. I'm not going to bring it in to the center of my forehead, just on the sides. And I'm really taking the smallest amount. So now I'm going to go in with the powder sculpt shade, and I'm just going to take my Morphe M527 brush. This is my bronzing brush, so I'm going to use this shade more as a bronzer than a contour. I tend to actually use a more cool tone bronzer, like the Tarte Park Avenue Princess bronzer, and that one kind of gives the same idea where it's a bronzer and a contour. I like this powder. I actually found that once I started to blend on top of the cream contour, it started to pull off some of my foundation, and it actually is looking pretty muddy. I don't know, I'm kind of conflicted because I actually thought the cream contour would be the one that wouldn't work for me and the powder would. So I don't know if the combination is just too much for my fair skin, but I think it looks a little muddy. So I'm just gonna go in with my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Powder Foundation and set my face, see if it kind of takes away the muddiness. So definitely going in with this powder over top kind of took the muddiness down from what it was, but it still lifted up that foundation, so that's kind of bothering me. So I'm going to take my everyday highlight brush. This is the Morphe M501, and I'm going to go in with a shade that could go either way. It could either be too dark or it could be just fine. So I'm gonna go in with the shade Stunner, and this one has a bit of a taupey undertone, which is really intriguing me. And then if it is too dark, I'm gonna go in with the shade Strobe, which will for sure work for me. So I can definitely see a glow on my face when I'm looking at my face from this direction, and when I look straight on, I don't see any weird hue of orange. I think this is actually super pretty and kind of cool, because if I were to buy a single shade, I would never, ever, ever go for this. I would think it'd be way too dark, but it kind of gives a cool look. It is for sure more of a cool tone highlighter, and maybe just with the look that I have going on, because my eyes and my lips are cool tone, it's just working, but I'm very into it. So I'm just gonna go put it on this side of the face, and then I'm gonna go in with a bit of the lighter shade to see how they mix together. So I'm gonna go in with the lightest shade, Strobe, and put this on the highest point of my cheekbones. I think that did lighten it a bit, took a little bit away of the gray undertone. I'm just gonna put this on the tip of my nose. So is this product suitable for fair skin? I would say it depends on how intense you like your makeup to be. If you are someone who likes to wear really natural makeup, you don't do intense contours, you're not posting on Instagram to make it look super intense for the camera, then I think that you could probably pass on this. But for someone like me who regularly takes pictures for Instagram, I'm doing YouTube videos, and I sometimes do like to go a little bit more intense with my makeup, even if I am just going out, then I think that this is a good product for you. My final thought is that if you're careful with this product, then this can definitely work out for you and you could really enjoy it. Key to using it and succeeding with it is to use a super, super light hand. If you did like this video, I would love if you could like, subscribe, and comment down below.